Talk Show. Recorded live.
Hi, everybody. It's January 6th, 2011. This is our first call of the year. And tonight our special guest speaker is Trvth. She's going to cover the topic of the IRS tonight and whatever else I guess she feels like covering. Hi, Trvth.
Greetings again. How are ya? How's
Thank
everybody?
You. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm okay. Thank you.
That's
How
great.
are you?
Oh, I already told you I'm wonderful.
I know, but it wasn't on the recording, so do it again.
I'm wonderful, magnificent, marvelous, and splendid, evolving and progressing every day in every way. And how is everybody else?
Isn't that lovely? I love that.
Yeah,
Thank
your
you.
words you speak today create your tomorrow, and that's what I want in my life.
Right. That's the way it should be. So, what kind of an outline do we have for this evening? You mentioned the IRS, which is very good. So, what kind of outline do we have for this evening? I'm getting feedback. Hold on a second, though, Trvth. Let me mute everyone out. That's making noise here. And I'm going to assume that one is you. Okay, let me just do this here. And I will come back and unmute you. Let me find you again. There you are. I believe that's you. Is that you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I just became unmuted.
Okay, great. And everyone else is muted, so it'll be nice and quiet. And everyone that wants to ask Trvth a question, press *8. And we'll take your questions as soon as she gives me the okay for that. Did you want to cover a particular topic on the IRS for us this evening?
Basically, I like to do a Q&A.
Okay.
And you ask me a question, and if I can assist you, I'm going to point you in the right direction.
Okay,
Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, that works for me. Everyone that has a question, an IRS issue question or whatever, go ahead and press *8. Our first question is Nancy. Oh, I'm trying to unmute her. Hold on one second. There we go. Okay, Nancy.
Yes. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Trvth. I believe on one of Angela's calls you said that you could take an IRS so-called death to small claims court no matter how big it was.
That's correct.
Do you have a site for that?
You need your local court rules for that.
I need what?
Your local court rules.
My local?
Right. The rules for your particular court in your state.
Oh, okay, for the small claims court.
Right.
Okay. Now, I've also heard that a notice of lien is a security and that there's a secret lien attached. How do you get them off or claim the security?
Number one, stop identifying yourself as the name. And a friend of mine that we had a conversation earlier today, who are you?
Well, I must not have a name because according to my birth certificate, my upper and lowercase name is owned by my all caps name. So actually, I don't have one, do I?
That's right. So stop owning stuff. That's not your property.
But they're
Hey,
levied.
Trvth.
Yes?
Are you near the phone? You sounded like you moved away for a second.
I did because I wanted to clear my throat. Excuse me
Oh,
one
sorry.
moment. Okay, excuse me one moment, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I was attempting to clear my throat, and I did turn the phone away from me.
Okay.
So I apologize for that, but I didn't think you want to hear me cough and stuff. So one of the things we have been so conditioned to is taking ownership of things that do not belong to us. And you have to remember, we're visitors here. This is not our final destination. So what is it that down here that you own? You're here to be a steward. You're not here to own anything. So whatever they allege is all well and good. They have no proof. They cannot even prove your identity. Who can testify that you're Nancy? Who has personal firsthand knowledge? No one. Even if you changed your name, they have jurisdiction over the name because Scripture plainly tells us in the book of Revelations, we're going to get new names. So you do not know what your name really is.
Okay, well, they are, they're levying my retirement, so I would somehow like to do something with that.
Nancy, I told you 3 calls ago specifically exactly what you needed to do. I heard you on another call ask the same question. Obviously, you did not listen. You heard what I said, but you did not listen to what I said. You are not liable. Why are you assuming the liability for something that doesn't belong to you?
Well, I'm not. I don't think I am liable, but I'm not controlling that other aspect.
But I gave you the specific case law that clearly and distinctly says that you're not liable and why you're not liable. You don't remember any of that?
Nope.
Okay. So we're going to go through this again, and I hope that you guys download this archive because I particularly do not like talking about the IRS, but I'm going to talk about it.
Thank you.
In 1984, they pulled the law out of the books to keep you from finding it because of a Michigan court case called People v. Shepherd. In that court case, it's an IRS tax case, and Mr. Shepherd was telling the state of Michigan that he wasn't liable for taxes and why. He used Title 31, Section 742, which they pulled out of all the books across the nation. Now, when they pulled it, they didn't repeal it. They did not annul it. They just took it out of the book. The reason why you know that this was a law and it's been removed from the books, the same as UCC 1-207 has been taken from the book, but it has not been repealed, it has not been annulled, and it has not been overturned. They just took it from the book. They don't want you using it. You find the Supreme Court case that states that law. And the Supreme Court case specifically says that obligations of the United States are tax exempt. Now, define what is an obligation of the United States. We go to Title 12 of the United States Code, Section 411. Federal Reserve Notes are obligations of the United States. I just told you that obligations of the United States are tax exempt. Where can we find that law today? In Title 31, Section 3124 specifically says obligations of the United States are tax exempt. I just told you Title 12, Section 411, Federal Reserve Notes are obligations of the United States. What are they basing the tax assessment on? They cannot use Federal Reserve Notes. They have no taxing authority. Are we clear?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Cool. That was good.
Yes, that was very precise and very helpful. Thank you.
Anybody else have a question? Press *8. We'll get your questions answered. Somebody had a question on the chat here, wanting to know if where is it? Angela, please ask Truth if she uses 10 must be 1099 A's, B's, and C's to close and settle her trust books, and does she use Form 56 to appoint herself fiduciary?
And no, Truth does not operate in commerce like that. So, this is what I can suggest you do. Do you know why we have government? The reason we have government is to secure our rights. You can find that in the Declaration of Independence. Governments were instituted among men to secure our rights. So, if governments are instituted among men to secure our rights, and you study Carl Miller like I asked you to, you know the government is your trustee. You don't have to appoint a fiduciary. The judiciary is a branch of government, which makes them automatically your fiduciary. It is not optional. It's mandatory. Breach of their fiduciary duty, government, or the judiciary is treason. They took an oath to support the Constitution, so you can hold them to the contract. And anything in writing pursuant to the statute of frauds is enforceable in a court of law. So we have a contract. The contract is the Constitution for the state and the national Constitution for the federal government. They breach that contract, you can go to court and seek recourse because the judiciary is your fiduciary. You don't have to do a Form 56. Just put them on judicial notice. We have government instituted among men to secure our rights. My rights is being violated. I want enforcement of the contract.
So how do you do that, though? Let's say they've taken all your money out of the bank and, seized all your property or whatever. How does one get relief or a remedy in that situation? Is there?
You take the bank to court. Because the bank gave up the money, the only way the IRS can take money, supposedly, is that you have to have a court hearing. They never have a judgment, so they're violating the Fifth Amendment, which is the due process. Nobody is supposed to be able to take anything from you ever without due process.
But they do. They do it all the time.
That's because you don't say anything. Of course, if I come and I take your wallet out of your hand and you don't stop me, well, the next time you get another wallet, I'm going to come take that too. And the next time you get another wallet, I'm going to come take that too. Until you stop me, you have to say something. If you do not know what your right is, then you can't assert that right. But the Constitution is to keep them in check. You do not have constitutional rights. Your rights are unalienable, and they come from our Creator. Which is why I ask you, please study Carl Miller and Michael Badnarik and understand what the Constitution is and why you need to use it. It's not because you have constitutional rights. It's because it keeps them in a box.
Right. Right. Did you notice that? Yeah, well, yeah, you did. You noticed about them reading the Constitution in Congress?
Oh, yeah. See, how many people you think know that when they open up the new Congress for this year, 2011, they left out parts of the Constitution. The reason I sent you the link is because we all need to send them a letter and tell them if they leave out parts of the Constitution, they call themselves infringing your rights. Your rights cannot be infringed. Now, I would make them redo that. I would send a letter and tell them if they don't reread the Constitution in its entirety without omissions and deletions, that we're going to start an impeachment process. And you don't have to be a registered voter. It's just this simple. We're not going to take it anymore.
And there's someone here asking, Angela, what about the 11th Amendment that stripped the courts of judiciary authority to hear cases in law, equity, controversy, or treaty?
They never actually had that authority, only Article 3 court specifically. If you know the Constitution, you know there's an Article 1 court and there's an Article 4 court. The Article 3 court is only the true judiciary.
Right.
So you know that there's two 13th Amendments, but again, you use that to your advantage. It's not to be used against you. It's a tool for you to use against them if you know how to use it.
Right. Wow, that's a problem. Most of us don't. It's
Well,
not something you learn in the public school system, right?
Of course not. You're not going to even learn it in law school. But that's why we have calls like this, so we can share our knowledge and information. I don't know everything. I need some information. I got quite a bit of information from Gene Keating and David Clarence and Christian Walters and Winston Shroud and Richard Cornforth and Sam Kennedy and Tim Turner. I've been to all the seminars. Everyone that I could afford to go to, I've gone. And I did exactly what you said. I took what I could apply and use for me, and I left the rest of it alone. Because everything is not applicable to you. But you need to know why you can do a bank acceptance and the proper way to do it.
Do you know how to do that?
Obviously, somebody put it on script that I know how to do it. They put my personal private PowerPoint on script, and they're trying to make money from it.
Oh, yeah, that's Bob Hurt.
Well, please do not buy that presentation from Bob Hurt. I would have given it to you free of charge if someone asked me. That's how I study. I create me a PowerPoint to teach me, and that's how I learn how to do stuff.
Yeah. You got to ding him for copyright infringement or something.
If I knew how to contact him, I would, because why would I allow him to he's pimping me. That's my work product.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's making the money, but Scribed, the website hosting service, wants $9 a month or whatever to join that in order to download that document. So I don't know who's making the money off your intellectual property. Maybe both. I'm not sure.
Well, I remember I went to a seminar in Anaheim, and they showed me how to do intellectual trademark patent. And the form is on the internet, where when you do have intellectual property, you can copyright it. But see, this is why I don't like to share stuff with people. I'll give you something, and I tell you don't share it with anybody, and now it's on the internet. Come on now. Somebody did not keep their word to me. The reason why it's out, they gave it to somebody else. Okay, and that somebody else obviously breached their word. I don't mind sharing my information with you. I'll give you whatever I think you can handle. But don't be going saying, Truth said, do this. I want you to go research the law for yourself, because I'm always going to try to substantiate what I'm telling you. Go look it up for yourself. And Nancy, the one thing I forgot to tell you, the court case is Memphis Bank versus the state of Tennessee. The law that's missing is right in that court case, and you can go to the Supreme Court cases at Justia and pull it right up. Memphis
Tell us
Bank.
the name of it. Go ahead.
Memphis Bank versus the state of Tennessee. Let you know that obligations of the United States are tax exempt.
Very good.
Thank
you.
I always intend to give you the court cases because once the matter has been adjudicated, the judiciary cannot act outside the judiciary. It's already been the court tried and won. They have to go by the decision that's already been made. It is known as res judicata. The matter has already been judged. And the judge cannot override a previous judge's decision.
Right.
So that's what you need to do. If you pull up that court case, you'll see the missing law that they pulled from the books in 1984 because of People v. Shepherd, which is a Lansing, Michigan. And Lansing is the capital of Michigan. It's a Lansing, Michigan tax case. So, is there another question?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Player Mimi, did you have a question for Truth?
Yes. This is Janetta. Hi, Truth.
Hi, Janetta.
Hi, Angela. How you doing?
Greetings.
Fine, thank you.
Greetings. I've been looking forward to this. Truth, you were mentioning a couple of gentlemen, Carl Miller, to study, and there was a Michael. What was Michael's last name?
Badnarik. Badnarik. Badnarik.
Okay. Can we just Google him, or should we go to a specific place?
You know what, Janetta? I made a page for Truth on the website, myprivateaudio.com, and I have the links to Badnarik there also.
Oh, okay, good, great. All right, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
you're welcome.
I can listen now. Okay, thanks.
Okay, let's see. We have Southern Nevada. Go ahead.
Oh, hi, yes. My name is Brandon. This is my first time calling. I apologize for getting off point, but I'm in a pretty bad predicament right now, and I'm kind of reaching out for anybody that can help me out. I recently got caught in a DUI, and I have no record. I have a clean slate, nothing on my record, and I was wondering what the best way to do or go about this problem that I'm running into.
First of all, let me mention that this is not legal advice, and nothing on this talk show is legal advice. This is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Friendly meeting of people that like to get together and talk about this stuff. So it's not law. If you need law, go find a lawyer. Okay, go ahead, Truth.
I suggest you do Carl Miller. Again, the reason why, once you study him and you learn him, you understand. If you were arrested for a DUI, what law is it that says you can't drink and drive? Hello?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I honestly am not that familiar with the law. I just know that I got caught doing a stupid thing that was right in front of my house, and it's something I know I shouldn't have done, but it was literally across the street from me, and I'm just wondering what the best way to handle it is, and if there's anything I can explore. Carl Miller, if that's somebody I can research and learn about that would help me out, then I would definitely do that.
That's your answer. I'm seriously telling you, because as long as you don't hurt or injure anyone,
right,
they have no reason to interfere with your travel.
I should mention that I was at a stop sign at about 5 in the morning, and for about 2 minutes, and then I saw a dead intersection, and that's what they originally pulled me over for, because I ran that stoplight.
Okay, well, again, unless you injure or hurt someone, you damage their property or hurt them personally, they have no reason to interfere with you in your travel.
All right.
Okay? And D in DUI says that you are a driver. You're not a driver. You're not required to be a driver, and they cannot regulate something that is free. No state can write a law that's in conflict or repugnant to the Constitution. And for a state to say that you have to have license, registration, and insurance is repugnant and in conflict of the Constitution. You have a right to travel anywhere you want to travel, under any conditions you want to travel under, at any rate of speed you want to travel, as long as you do not damage someone or hurt their property. As long as you don't hurt someone or damage their property, I'm sorry.
Okay. And so Carl Miller is the person I want to learn about and see what my options are to how I would handle this.
That's correct, because he gives you the exact case law. As well as I know it, I'm about to say the wrong thing, but Shapiro versus Thompson. No state can make a law and charge a fee for a right and then make it a privilege. So you want Shapiro versus Thompson and definitely Marbury versus Madison, which he explains to you very well. And he's on YouTube.
I'm sorry, what was the second one?
Go to Carl Miller.
Marbury versus Madison.
Marbury versus Madison, okay.
Right.
All right, I mean, if that's what you suggest, I'll definitely go there. Any other suggestions, I'd be more than willing to listen, but if that's it, then I'll definitely go about it and listen to your advice.
One more is Mark Stevens. He's on YouTube as well.
Mark Stevens?
Yeah, he lets you know that traffic court, that's a scam, and judges are criminals.
All right. Well, I appreciate your help.
You can watch video on YouTube of Mark Stevens. Just plug in Mark, M-A-R-C, is how he spells his name. Stevens, S-T-E-V-E-N-S. He also has a website, markstevens.net. He just did a really good recording. Did you hear it, Truth?
Yeah,
the recording he did of his talk with an IRS attorney?
No, you sent me the link. I haven't had the opportunity. There's someone that believes that I've made a mistake, and I'm telling you, it is not what you Skype me. It is Marbury versus Madison, and I'm willing to make a bet with you on that. And that's to the person that just Skyped me, so you know. I'm willing to bet on that. It's Marbury versus Madison. And you're in error. Thank you very much.
Well, all right. I appreciate
we don't know.
You know who that is, Angela, don't you?
No, I don't.
You should have an idea. Who Skypes me while we're on a conference call? You already know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, so now they apologize. Well, see, we know that you. I love you too, but I'm positive it's Marbury versus Madison and Shapiro v. Thompson. But check us out. If you think I'm wrong, I don't mind you correcting me, because it's not like I have this information written down. I'm reciting most of it from memory. And I am subject to error. Please correct me. I will not get an attitude. We all make mistakes. That's why we need one another.
That's what I say. We all need to help one another and take care of one another.
So,
anybody else have a question? Press *8. I'm sorry, Truth. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, for those of you that do have access to a computer while you're on the call, check a sister out. Marbury versus Madison. No state can write a law that's repugnant to the Constitution. Just check me out. That's That's your responsibility. That's called doing your due diligence. Do not take my word for anything. That's why I'm going to always try to give you the case law to what it is that I'm referring to. Okay.
All righty, we have another question.
Go ahead.
From Joe Diamond. Joe Diamond. There was a cat named Joe Diamond in the musical drama called Wildcats that Lucille Ball was in. Joe Diamond was the new foreman.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's my first time ever calling in, so I'm not sure if I'm even. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, and welcome.
Okay. Thank you. I'm kind of nervous, but
well, don't be. It's all informal here.
Let's see how I can even say this. The IRS had filed a tax lien in the all-cap name, and it was recorded with a local recorder in a sum nearing $600,000 going back to year 2000. And I sent affidavits and everything was ignored. I even did A for V and money orders and have all of that. And then that was at the end of May. Last month, December, they added another $200,000 to that. So it's now close to $750,000. And I have to laugh at myself because as I have been learning, I've confused the commercial with the real me, the true me, and so I'm really confused at this point about how to undo any letters I've written or anything like that, and what to do. And actually, I have to get a letter off tomorrow, and I intend to go to the recorder's office and to the bank because the bank has now seized funds from the account. And I let them know that was not me. I'm the authorized representative, but I'm not even sure authorized representative. I mean, that's a commercial term as well. So please help.
Well, number one, why do we have erasures on pencils?
Yeah.
Answer the question. I need you to answer. I'm not trying to be funny. I need you to answer the question to your understanding. Why do we have erasures on pencils?
Because we make mistakes.
Oh, so can we do an affidavit of mistake? I made a mistake.
Okay, cool.
How about that?
Do that. Okay.
Okay, we could do that. Secondly, I need you to FOIA the bank and tell them they have 72 hours, which is 3 days, to show you the judgment for the enforcement of the lien or return the funds, or we're going to put a lien on them.
Okay. Wow.
Because they've caused you a harm and an injury when they deprive you of access to your funds that they are what? The fiduciary of.
Right.
All banks are your fiduciary, even though they don't tell you. But when you put your money in their establishment, they become your fiduciary.
Well, somehow I knew that because I asked if they had breached fiduciary duty. So, which they have. Okay. Now, let's go a step further. Since the bank breached the fiduciary duty, all franchises, all states, any corporation takes an oath to support the Constitution as well. And breach of their fiduciary duty, you can cause them to be dissolved. You can lien their charter or you can change their name. That goes for a state, city, or county as well. Any breach of their fiduciary duty is an act of treason. And treason in this country is still punishable by death. Okay. Oh, okay. This is also
Okay,
overwhelming.
but don't you need to have someone to address it to? I mean, you just address the bank in general, or?
No,
Well,
you
I
know,
did get a letter from a person, or from a woman, and I did respond to her and ask her if she was acting as trustee for that all-cap name, and I asked her if the bank, or if they had breached fiduciary duty. I've not heard back, although I did get a letter saying that the account was overdrawn by $50 because they had charged $75 for taking all the money out.
okay. Now, you need to invoice them for deprivation of access to your money, which is a deprivation of your right. You need to write only to the bank president or one of the directors, because nobody else has authority to act as an agent for the bank.
Oh, okay.
And if you need that information is kept by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, who is the bank police. If they're acting outside the scope of their franchise charter, which they are, because they have no evidence of a judgment, which you can do a UCC 11 search at the county.
Okay.
If there's a judgment against you, it has to be recorded. And the IRS never obtains judgments. They do liens. So because the bank is the fiduciary, it was their responsibility to make sure that there was a judgment before they release the funds. So you can force them to put the money back plus interest.
And when I know that is it not true, and I apologize that I'm stuttering because I've got so many thoughts going through my mind when you're saying this. Is it not true that when they submit a notice of federal tax lien to the recorder, it is converted into a lien, a notice of lien?
But that's all it is a notice.
Right. It has no force of law, right?
Right. It is not the lien. They have to have a judgment to enforce the lien.
Okay. I did present that to our local commission in August, and they just looked at me baffled, and nothing happened. And so I do know that after listening to Gene Keating's calls, I need to make a claim, and I just, I'm like so many other people. I just haven't known how to do that. And I would be very interested in knowing how to do a proper money order, because I know how to make it out like we do a check, but I'm not certain about is the endorsement on the back.
Well, what makes you think that you're not doing it proper? They're just not paying you any attention.
Well, yeah, they definitely aren't. Yeah.
Right, but how do you know that you're the one that's making a mistake? You understand what I'm saying? Just because.
Yes, I do.
You could write a check on anything. You do know that, right?
I do know that, yes.
Okay, so you could write a check on a cow, a pig, a piece of toilet paper. It doesn't matter.
And what's the law? Is that Title 31 as well? I did go in there today and look that up, but I couldn't find the exact wording, of course. And it may be because, like you said, they removed it.
You couldn't find the exact wording for what?
About an order, a money order.
No, that's in the Uniform Commercial Code. You need to look up the definition of the word check and what an executed check is. Yeah, you're looking in the wrong place.
I was trying to look up where they can't ask you to pay in a specific way, like in Fern's Federal Reserve notes.
That's HJR 192. They cannot ask you to pay in a specific species.
Okay, great. Okay. SS as in Sam?
No, that's HJR 192.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they cannot demand payment in a specific species.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming on the call.
And we don't
on every Thursday.
I'm on every Thursday. I'm just nervous to talk, so thank you.
Oh, don't be.
Yeah,
you're among friends.
Yeah, we don't bite. We don't bite. We don't bite.
Okay, Dave wanted to ask. I think, Dave, were you asking that question? Let me see here. Or let me see. I can't find it. The board is moving so fast and I can't make out anything. Wait a minute. Doesn't the registered agent have authority to act as agent for the bank? But I
Yes.
don't know in what.
Yes.
Okay. And aren't we agents for the bank too, though?
Are you?
I don't know. Every time I sign my name on a check, I'm signing on that dotted line, that microprinted line, and it says
Right.
authorized signatory. So does that make me an agent for the bank?
At that time, yes. But you need to know that because if that's your check or their check, that's their check drawn on your account.
Right. And am I abandoning funds when I sign it as such? Or
No.
what?
Aren't you designating a discharge or something?
Right.
Or allocation?
Mm-hmm.
That's your delegation of authority. You ever looked at it like that? I'm telling you what to do with this, and this is how I want it done. Isn't that a delegation of authority?
Mm-hmm.
In
What
writing,
is that?
and it's signed by who? You. You understand where I'm trying to go with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Richard is saying that the microprint is merely an anti-counterfeiting measure. No, it isn't, Richard. If that was the case, it could say, Boo-hoo and Bo Peep or something. It wouldn't say authorized signatory. Why does it say those specific words? Right?
Right. But then you have to ask him, what does he mean by counterfeiting? Because I believe he means forgery, not counterfeiting. To counterfeit means for you to duplicate something. If I'm mistaken, I'll take your stuff and I'll duplicate it. That would be counterfeiting. That micro line, it deals with forgery. It doesn't deal with counterfeiting. The Federal Reserve counterfeit. They're licensed to counterfeit. But if you do it, see, you're not licensed to do it. So they're going to prosecute you, but the Federal Reserve is licensed to counterfeit. We do know this, right? Because the lawful money of the United States is a specific species, and it is not a note. It happens to be a coin, which is change. The lawful money of the United States is gold or silver coins. A note is unconstitutional.
Well, it's a means of exchange, right?
That's right.
A Time Savers has a question. Go ahead.
Yes, peace, sisters. What's going on? I'm just trying to find out the right legal paperwork to put in to stop this child support because I done tried a lot of different methods and nothing has worked.
My brother, I really don't deal with child support, but if you did the deed and left the seed, come on now. I'm not trying. You the one brought it to me. But if you did the deed and left the seed, what's wrong with you taking responsibility for what's yours?
That's the thing. I take responsibility, but I guess they done took a private contract out with me without my consent and just taking money out of my check every week. And I done put in all type of paperwork and it's not working.
Obviously you didn't, because you must have agreed some kind of way. Now let's address this in another manner. The only way anybody could do something to you is because you allow it. Now, somewhere along the line, you agreed, and I'm gonna tell you where you did it at. What is your name? And I'm not asking you, don't say it, but I'm just asking you a question to take you to where I'm trying to get you to go. What is your name? Somewhere you took ownership of that. That was your agreement because they have no way of identifying you. But somewhere they said the name, and you took ownership of somebody else's property, which is where you volunteered for them to do what they're doing to you. You never should have took ownership of the name because nobody can prove your identity. Nobody has personal first-hand knowledge as to who you are. It is all hearsay. Are you with me?
Yes.
So you volunteered into their system. Now you want to unvolunteer. So do an affidavit that you're not going to volunteer because nobody could attest to your identity. Who can testify under pains and penalty of perjury as to your identity? Somewhere you did that. You did that to you.
Okay.
So go back and correct it. Stop identifying yourself as someone that you are not.
Okay, so what do I need to be sending the paperwork to get all this undone? Because I've been told and sending paperwork to Secretary of State, to your county, and all different places, and I've been doing.
I believe the county court handles whatever court handles the child support, and the county. Yeah, I was submit to the county court.
Okay, I'm talking about the paperwork to get all the way away from the straw man, where I can just be me and get away from all this nonsense.
Well, you would have to. There's many ways to get out of this system. You could do an affidavit of no liability, an affidavit of denial, operating the commerce. You could do it's many avenues. You could file a UCC. The ways are too numerous for me to even sit and think of, but I'm just pointing you in the right direction to some of them. An affidavit stands as truth as long as it can't be rebutted. And an affidavit has to be testified to under oath in order to be true. Now, no corporation could do an affidavit against you. Now, can they? Oh, yeah, that's right, because corporations are fictitious entities.
Okay, because everything I've been putting in has been getting rejected, even with except for value and all that. And I was listening to a little bit of stuff with Gene and talking about it, and I kind of seen where I was going wrong with it.
Well, and the reason we have erasers on pencils is so we can do what? Correct our mistakes.
Yes.
So that would be the first thing I would do is an affidavit of mistake. Who can rebut it? Nobody.
But what if the people, when you sending all this information in and all this paperwork, what if they don't record and do the right thing when they get it?
Start getting their names and stuff. We have a little thing called a notice of intent to lien and a waiver of tort.
Could you repeat that?
We have a document. It's called a notice of intent to lien and waiver of tort.
Okay, is it anywhere on the site where I can find these documents?
I may make them available and I may not. I have to think about it. And when I say think about it, I seriously have to meditate because I don't want anybody attempting to use these documents and getting themselves in trouble without me first explaining what they are. But I got them from Carl Miller. This FYI, they're not my documents. I got them from Carl Miller, and I updated and corrected them.
Okay.
Matter of fact, girl, what's your name? I forgot your name just that quick. Oh, yeah. Angela.
Yeah, thanks. Victoria Warrior. No. Go ahead.
put the notice of lien and intent to and the waiver of tort. Put that on the web page.
All right. Notice
Okay.
of lien and
And-
waiver of tort.
Right.
So all this paperwork need to just go to your county where you stand at, or do it need to go to the Secretary of Washington, D.C. and all them different places, or what?
No. No. See, that's if you fixing to lien one person, one entity. It's the people that works behind the desk of whatever the corporation you're dealing with. See, that's one of the reasons I really didn't want to put it on there until you guys had a class on it. But I want you to see it and read it and understand what it is and your rights. Because they're causing you a injury, a commercial injury. And you let them know, you caused me a commercial injury, I'm going to seek recourse. And the recourse is that you're going to lien them up.
Okay. I just have one more question, that'll be it. So first, like on your tax returns and stuff like that, is there any way possible that you could file like the 1099 OIDs and 8281 like Gene was saying to get a return on all this money that's been taken?
I'm sorry. I was being distracted by my Skype. What did you say? Would you please repeat that for me?
I said, okay, first the child support. Is it any way that you could file a 1099 OID and a Form 8281 like Gene was saying to get a return on all this money they have taken?
Okay. You're asking me about something that Gene said, which I didn't hear, and it would be unfair for me to comment on it. But, yes, you can get your money back. And I can't comment intelligently on something that I didn't hear myself.
Okay, I can understand that.
Okay, understand it well. That's how we get in trouble, is hearsay. You see what I'm saying? Not that you're trying to tell me what somebody else said. When you go to court, they're doing to you what somebody else said. It's hearsay. There's no one with personal first-hand knowledge. Are you getting what I'm trying to get you to glean from this?
Yes.
Every time you go to court, I don't care what kind of court it is, traffic court, criminal court, civil court, everything that the attorney says is hearsay. They weren't there. They were sitting in their office somewhere. Anything that they say to the judge, hearsay. They have no personal first-hand knowledge. You ought to be able to beat any court case if you remember. Stop identifying yourself as the name. It does not belong to you. Nobody in that room can testify as to who you are.
Yes. You're right about that.
Everything is hearsay. Hearsay is not admissible in a court of law. There's only 3 exceptions that I can think of. And excited utterance is one. A dying declaration is another. And trust me, I can't think of the third one right now. You really catching me off guard. But I like to do this impromptu so you know this is not premeditated. This is for you. It's not for me. I'm trying to help you and point you in the right direction.
Yes, because there's been a lot of studying and a lot of wrong roads been taken, and I want to just get on the right track and stop taking the wrong roads. All the studying
we're always going to make a mistake now, because until we learn by our mistakes. If you never made a mistake, then you can't share. If I never been arrested, I couldn't tell you nothing. If they hadn't never torn down my house that I own with everything I own in it, that I owned it for 21 years, I wouldn't have never went to law school to try to get them. And me going to law school trying to retaliate against them, I learned something. And what I learned, I'm willing to share. Does that make sense to you? But if I had not suffered anything, then I can't tell you anything. I could tell you the 2 times that I've been locked up. One was for speeding, and the other time was for allegedly contempt of court. But if I've never been arrested, then I have nothing to share with you. If I haven't been in the judicial system myself and made these mistakes that I'm telling you to avoid, what good would it be? Does that make sense? Only a person with personal first-hand knowledge. I'm telling you what I experienced. I have personal first-hand knowledge because I've been locked up. The city bulldozed my house. I have personal first-hand knowledge of what I'm telling you. It's not something that I just learned from a book.
Or from somebody else. Is that it for you?
Yes.
A few more.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Time Savers. I hope you work it out. Dave wants to know, how do you cross the bar when your case is called, but yet not identify yourself?
You go at arm's length. Number one, I'm here at arm's length, and I'm here to help you settle and close this matter as an agent. You need to know how to act as an agent.
Okay. We have some people lined up. Do you need a break, or are you ready for some more?
I'm good. Let's go.
Good? Okay.
Yep, I'm going to light a cigarette, and we're going to roll. I'm going to light a cigarette, and we're going to roll with this.
Oh, don't tell me that. I want one. Oh, God.
That's why I did it.
You're bad. You're so bad. Okay. I have to take a lot of deep breaths, and that'll make me get over it. All right.
Go fix you a cup of coffee and get over it.
Yeah. Southwest Ohio, go ahead. Did you have a question for Truth? Southwest Ohio. Hello, hello. You're unmuted. Where'd you go? Well, I just disappeared off the screen, so I guess...
Or either they're Skyping me, which they shouldn't be.
Oh, okay. Let's move on, then. We'll go to Cleveland.
Hello.
Hi, Cleveland. Did you have a question for Truth?
Yes, I did. Angela, how are you? And Truth, this is the first time that I am talking to you, so I'll try to be brief.
It's okay.
This is regarding foreclosure, and which my house is pretty much on its way. Well, I'm probably on my way out of the house, but it's been something I've been fighting for a long time on my own, pro se, and used a lot of pencils and made a lot of erasers and made a lot of mistakes, but did learn from them. But I am on my own, as I said, without an attorney. It's a predatory lender, and for some reason or another, they don't have the original note, and I believe they may possibly have falsified affidavits. But it's to the point now where they've had the sheriff's sale, the courts have ordered the confirmation of sale and the writ of possession, and I'm just at wit's end. I've tried everything imaginable, in the course of these years, trying to save my home. Been here 32 years and really need some help or remedies, or just what would you suggest?
Have you filed bankruptcy yet?
No.
Do a Chapter 13 will stop the writ of possession. Automatic stay.
The only thing is, because I am on unemployment, I could not afford bankruptcy. I mean,
yes.
I can't. Pardon me?
Yes, you can afford it. Trust me, you cannot not afford it.
But what? I lose my house in the meantime?
No. When you file bankruptcy, you get an automatic stay. Anything that's been adjudicated is put on hold.
Even if the sale's been confirmed and writ of possession?
That's right. Now, automatic stay bars anybody from moving forward on any previous judgment.
Oh, because I just thought because it was so far along in the process that bankruptcy was out of the question at the point that I'm at now.
And I would file the bankruptcy the day before that they're supposed to come put me out.
The day before?
Would give you more. Yeah, that gives you more time. You have to learn how to be strategic in your planning. They have a do-it-yourself bankruptcy kit, and you may want to email me. I got a couple of documents that you need to put in your bankruptcy that they've also taken off the internet.
Okay.
But I had them so long that stuff that they don't want you to know, trust me. They would.
I hear you. Now, as far as, did you say Chapter 13, Truth?
Yes, that's the wage earner plan.
Okay.
You can always change a 13 to a 7. I'm not going to go through everything I learned in law school with you.
Right.
Just learn how to follow directions, and you'll be all right. In bankruptcy, most people do not know you could do an adversary cover sheet and do a quiet title action.
Now, that's something I'm very, very interested in, quiet title. I've heard a lot about it, but for some reason it's just not getting through to me. I mean, as I do the bankruptcy, in the interim, I would be doing the quiet title?
Yes, I would file an adversary cover sheet and do a quiet title.
What was the name of the cover sheet?
It's called adversary. They're your adversary.
An adversary, what was the other word?
Cover sheet.
Oh, cover sheet. And just include it with the bankruptcy?
That's correct.
Okay, and within that adversary cover sheet, do I have what would follow that cover sheet would be the quiet title?
That's the purpose of it, to bring a quiet title action.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm losing you just a little bit. If I file the bankruptcy Chapter 13 and I do an adversary cover sheet, what would be I don't know anything about quiet title as far as the procedures, or somewhere I could look that information up, or I don't want to keep you.
You're going to have to do some research.
On the quiet title?
And the bankruptcy, because you're going to switch the 13 to a 7.
Now you lost me, because you said it.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. This is information I know how to do.
Right.
Specifically.
Right.
And you're not going to get it on this phone call because it's not enough time, number one.
Can I email you, Truth, or is that not acceptable?
Yes, that's the only acceptable way is to email me.
Okay.
It's Corpus Juris Truth at Hotmail. And if you go to privateaudio.com, that information is already there waiting for just you.
Okay. I write a little slow because I have arthritis, so I didn't keep up with you on the first email. What was it, Corpus?
Yes, Corpus Juris Truth.
Is it Juris?
That's correct.
And Truth, you're spelling that?
Trv, like in Victor, T-A, the Latin spelling for the word truth. Corpus Juris Truth.
Okay, I think I don't know why I'm missing your name. Treveth?
No, Truth. Trvth. Truth.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, that is your email?
That's correct.
Okay.
At hotmail.com.
At hotmail.com. Okay, and you said there is a second email that would be very, or website or whatever that would be very helpful for me.
Privateaudio.com.
Privateaudio.com.
Yeah, and you can click on Truth's name is on the front page there.
Is that like your page, Angela? I mean.
Yeah, it's my site. Yeah.
Okay.
Our site. It's everybody's.
I know. So, and then just click on Truth's name?
Yeah, or click on guest speakers.
Guest speakers, okay.
Okay, because that'll open up the page and you can scroll down and click right on her.
Okay,
call notes.
And then what am I looking after I get to guest speaker and I get her? I'm looking for bankruptcy?
Her email address is there.
Okay.
In case you didn't get it right.
Okay.
Also, all the links to Carl Miller and David Badnarik. Michael Badnarik, sorry.
Okay.
And
Mark Stevens, put him on there?
Well, I have him already in 2 places on the website, but I'll put it on there also if you want.
All right, please.
I've got him on the cover too. Where it says, you know what? He owns an IRS lawyer.
Oh.
Right.
I have a question. Truth, you said the privateaudio.com and then, click on your name or whatever. Did you say there was a specific site that would be for me in particular, or did I hear you wrong?
No, I don't put any of my bankruptcy information online.
Okay,
No.
that's okay. So,
yeah, that's private, and like I said, some things I do for a living,
right.
and what I do for a living, you have to pay for.
Right.
Something. I don't mind sharing the information
right.
and tell you what you need to do. If you got the time to study, go study it yourself.
Right.
Ask the bankruptcy attorney just some information. But there's two particular forms that they will not file in your bankruptcy that
right.
I do have possession of
okay.
that you need to get from me.
And I would get that through just emailing you, and then you could just email it to me or whatever?
That's correct.
I got
that. That is correct.
So I just want to stand correct here that even at where I am at the 11th hour, so to speak, they just did, like I said, the confirmation of sale and writ of possession. I don't know how quickly. I haven't gotten, I guess, an eviction notice would be the next thing I would get. I don't know. And then
they give you 10 days, but you could do a motion to vacate and set aside a void judgment as well.
Oh, I think I did that already, and they denied that. I did that several times, and they always deny it. That was
okay. We'll put in a motion to set the record straight.
A motion to set the record straight as far as, and what would it, briefly, what would be the main?
It's a motion to vacate and set aside a void judgment. You're just changing the name of it.
Okay. But filing this Chapter 13, even at the point that I'm at, would stop it in its tracks?
Definitely.
Okay. And you said wait until they tell me I have to be out on such and such a date. Wait to the very last minute to file that?
That's correct also.
Okay. Okay. Anything, just last quick thing that you could tell me about this? Or I don't want to keep you, and I understand that, but anything that I know you said to read about the bankruptcy, to read about Carl Miller. I'll go back on privateaudio.com. So I'll get like 99% of my information from those different places?
You're going to get all the information you need except bankruptcy.
Okay, I've pulled some stuff on Chapter 7 and 13 to see what the differences are, but I was never sure if there's one where you can keep your house and the other one you can't. That's why
most of them you can keep your house. Chapter 13 is known as a wage earner plan,
okay.
which gives you 5 years, 60 months to pay your debts off.
Now,
okay.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Chapter 7 just straight up gets rid of your debt.
Oh, I wouldn't want that.
Make them uncollectible.
Now, let me just ask you, this is my last question. Let's say, I go to, that would be federal court, because isn't bankruptcy in a federal court?
That's correct.
Wouldn't they have to the bank come in and have to prove that the loan by the note or something authenticated?
No, they have to have the two documents that you need from me. One is called a proof of claim. The other is called a proof of loss.
Oh, that's what the bank that's suing me, they have to have that?
Yeah, they have to. If I take you to court,
right.
This is for anybody. I have to be able to prove that we had a contract,
right.
And that you breached the performance or the obligation or duty
right.
to that contract. So I have to bring in a proof of claim, and then they have to put in a proof of loss. And these have to be signed by the attorneys under the penalty of perjury.
And they don't normally bring those two?
They are no longer both on the Internet. I believe you can still get the B10, but the W10, you can't find it.
But I personally wouldn't need those forms, me personally.
Yeah, you do. You personally need to send it to the bank's attorney.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those two forms go to it's a bank in New York. It's Deutsche Bank. I don't even know who I would send it to, because they're in Germany and they're in New York, and they have 20-some lawyers here in Cleveland. I don't even know who to mail what to anymore.
It's like this. All banks have presidents.
Yeah.
You mail it to the bank president because the president acts as the director as well. All banks have to have 5 directors pursuant to the national bank law.
Right.
And because you've not followed this call before, the National Banking Act specifically tells you how a bank is to be organized. So if you want to communicate with anyone, you would communicate with the bank president, who acts as the one of the bank directors as well.
Even though the main bank is in Germany?
That's irrelevant.
Okay. Okay. I was just
The banking laws are national and international. The international is called Trvth, and the national is called banking laws. They're in violation of both national bank laws and international banking treaty of 1978.
Okay. So you would suggest I do the bankruptcy shortly, or you just said wait just before, when I get the eviction letter, whenever?
Right, because they're going to try to put in a motion to go around the state. So
right.
This is to buy you time to do what it is that you need done.
Right. But I appreciate that, because there were a lot of people saying, oh, the point that I'm at, the bankruptcy was not a remedy. So I'm glad I got a chance to ask someone that has knowledge about it, and I will read up further on it. I appreciate your help.
You're more than welcome.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you both.
All right, thank you for calling in.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we have Raymond, 1949.
Hi,
Hi.
Angela. It's
Hi.
Ray. Hi, Trvth.
Greetings.
And really glad you're on tonight, Trvth. I just got a call from my ex-wife yesterday. She has been served a summons to appear in court on the 15th for an old credit card that she had, and she has no clue to anything. And I was wondering what would be the best way to, number one, get by some time and stop the process, and then where to go from there. I was wondering if you could do the A for V on something like that. I assume she could, but not in a short period of time.
Well, credit cards are very easy. Most people fail to realize you don't have a contract. They're taking you to court on breach of contract. Make them produce the contract. They don't have it.
Yeah, I haven't seen her paperwork yet, but she did have a summons, and she already has a court date.
Well,
yeah.
you have a right to do a counterclaim and tell them to produce the contract. There is none.
Now, do I go through the court to do that?
The counterclaim, yes.
Okay. And so there's no need to deal with them directly now since they've already got a court date.
Well, you can. You could tell them their failure. I would send them. I do a lot of out-of-court settlement personally, and I was sharing my success with Angela because I don't talk to everybody, but
right.
I have a success with my out-of-court settlement where someone from the CEO's office of the bank wants to talk to my client. And the other success I have is that my client was supposed to be in court today, and yesterday they called and told them that they were canceling the court appearance, and that was because of the notice of intent to lien that I put on them.
Okay.
I told them, if you went forward with this court case, I'm going to lien you, your firm, and your client. And that's what happened with that. So I have two successes because you could do a lot of in the private more so than you can go in the court arguing. If you're not versed or you don't have experience arguing, so you may do something wrong. So I would try it out of court. I would send them a letter and tell them, for all intents and purposes, I need to see a copy of the contract that I signed that, and produce the contract with my signature on it. I need a certified copy. They can't produce it.
What about requesting the QSIP number for that?
You can request whatever you like. They're not gonna give it to you. Do it.
But I mean, is that going to put more force against them when they realize that she might know more than they think she does?
No, it's not. The force of the whole thing is where's the contract.
Okay.
That's what they're taking you to court on. Where's the contract? With credit cards, you never have a contract. You only have the application where you applied for the credit card.
Right.
They never send you a contract. So they can't say that the application for approval is a contract because they never sent you the contract. So how do you know the terms and conditions?
Okay.
It's not difficult. Don't make it difficult. Keep it, basic.
Yes. Well, I have really been studying Doug's A4V.
Which is very, very good.
And then,
everybody hear that? True said Doug's A4V is very, very good.
And so far, I've spent about 10 hours on Sam Davis videos. And
yes, he's excellent. I like his work.
I do like Doug's approach, and I've listened to a lot of Jon Stewart, and I like the idea that I'm not really familiar with Sam's approach, other than I like the idea of not just haphazardly doing anything and then having to pay for it down the road.
Right. Well, this is commercial law, and it deals with your performance on a contract. And you would gladly perform the contract as long as they can produce it in court.
All right.
I'll gladly pay this debt, no question. Show me the contract that I signed.
Right.
And their failure of the...
So,
no, I'm not finished, but their failure to produce a contract, then whatever they're asking you for, then you sue them for... you ask the court for 3 times that amount for perpetrating fraud on the court. You get paid for going to court. You don't go just to defend yourself. You go and tell them, I want treble damages, which is 3 times the amount for them perpetrating fraud on the court, and for me having to take time to come in and defend this frivolous and spurious matter. I'm done.
I'm writing. Fortunately, I'll get to listen to you again later.
That's right.
There was one other thing that crossed my mind, and it's gone. The fact that, number one, we're not married, and number two, can I be the agent for her, or is just I think you told that other fellow that you were there possibly to help settle the issue?
Yes, she can give you power of attorney, and the power of attorney can specifically say that you're her agent for this specific matter.
She will not be able to say a word. She gets so nervous, and she's going to have a help.
Well, that's fine. All she has to do is sign a power of attorney that says that you're her agent for this particular matter.
Oh,
this limited and specific matter. And
now, do we? If we get into court, do we still need to do these making a special appearance and all that?
If you like, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know where you are in your growth, and I can't answer that for you. I don't have to do a special appearance because it's not me.
Well, I'm just about through with my third notebook of notes.
Now, if I told you don't own the name and you go in and doing a special appearance, aren't you owning the name? I'm just asking a question. Aren't you associating yourself with the identity of the name?
You're trying to avoid the straw man name, but yet you still need to be able to represent. Right,
but the agent, you're not confirming or denying.
Okay.
But special appearance is an admission there some kind of way.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
You're more than welcome.
Wait a minute. Would he do a restricted appearance, or it's not even?
If you do
anything that's an appearance, right?
Think about what you said. You're doing a restricted appearance for whom?
Right.
The name.
Right.
The special appearance is for the name. You're not the name. What is your name? I don't know. But you can call me. You see what I'm saying? What
Yes.
is not my name? Who is not who my name? Would you like to know how I wish to be addressed? You may address me as friend. You may address me as truth. You may address me as whatever. But what is not my name?
Well, since I'm just the agent.
It doesn't matter what the name is, now does it? I'm an agent. That's all you need to know is my title.
Okay.
And I've done that. I've gone into the police station, and I had someone that the police wanted to do a lie detector. What do they call that? Polygraph. And I walked up with the person, and they said, I said, is this person under arrest? No. And I said, but you want them to do a polygraph? They said, yes. Oh, it's strictly voluntary. I said, well, they're not volunteering, unvolunteering, and I did a 180 and said, get your coat. And the officer said, who are you? I said, don't worry about who I am. But where the officer made a mistake is the person was of age. And I definitely could not speak to them, and I had no paperwork stating that I was the person's agent. But they were afraid when I did the 180, and they kept saying, miss, trying to get my attention. Well, they were trying to recontract with me, and I refused to turn back around. Meanwhile, I was telling them, get your coat, let's go. Even the officer behind the desk said, he's talking to you. Well, you can't talk to me if you don't know how to address me. You want my attention, you need to be able to address me as something. And I never gave them that permission. You didn't give them a license to do that, so they couldn't address me. And I didn't have a reason to pay them any attention. And they know they better not put their hands on me to tap me on the shoulder or anything. You'd be surprised what you could do. Try it. I did it. It worked. And I was mad as I don't know what, because I didn't want to have to go. But the person that I had to assist could not pull off what I pulled off. They didn't, they would have did it if they knew, but they didn't know.
They had too many doubts.
So you could do it if you're sure about it, and that's the whole thing about all of this.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it if you got the balls to do it.
Thank you.
Okay, Raymond, is that good for you?
That's great. I appreciate everything, and I love talking to you girls. Thank you, True. Thank you, Angela.
You're so welcome.
Thanks. Okay, we'll move along then. We have General Locke.
Yes, this is Prosperous 5757, Darlene. Hello.
Hi.
Alrighty. Hi, Truth. My name is Darlene, and I have this one situation that's just really bothering me. I know it can't possibly be as complicated as the courts are making it, but I have nieces, and their mother has had them since they were born. She has never been married to the father, but one day he took the kids for a whole year, and when she saw them, she was forced by the AG's office into signing a contract, which was a order to establish parent-child relationship. She doesn't know anything about the law. I've been kind of following the calls. I listened to some of your calls, and I've been, kind of following Gene Keaton and everything. So I want to know, is there some type of way that she can give me power of attorney and I go into court to fight this for her? I'm not trying to be a lawyer. I'm not trying to give legal advice. But I know that we're all subject to having counsel. I would like to somehow be her counsel. I just want to know, how can she go about and maybe terminate the contract or so? Because she had her kids and the father's nowhere around. It's like she can only see her kids once or twice a month, and it's almost like she doesn't really have any rights to her kids, and she's dealing with the grandmother of the father right now. She has the power of attorney from her child's father, and I just want to help her get her children back, because I don't believe that no mother should be forced to give their two young children to the father, which isn't even around, and only subject to seeing them twice a month. Did I give you enough information, or do you have any questions? I'm trying not to talk too much because I know we have other questions on the call.
Don't worry
No,
about
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you worry about what you call to, and yes, she can give you power of attorney so you can assist her as counsel.
Okay, and because I would like to, she's very, very timid and, what do you call it, like a person who doesn't want to fight or anything. Me, I'm very bold, and I don't mind studying, I don't mind research. If you point me in the right direction, I work from home, so I have 24 hours in a day to read and research the law. I don't mind going to court and speaking for her. I want it to be to where she doesn't even have to say anything, to where the judge has to deal with me and me only, because, I mean,
no, she's going to have to be there. It doesn't matter that you have power of attorney. She still physically has to be in the courtroom.
Well, she'll physically be there, but I would like to be able to have the authority to speak for her.
Let her give you power of attorney, and that would do that.
Okay. Well, with that being said, since you're on the call, and I know this, I guess I've been listening to the commercial process, and I got through videos 1 through 14. And to my understanding, everything's all about contracts. And when you get into a contract and someone breaches it, you can terminate the contract. That child support order the agreement is a contract. Is there a way that I could terminate it to where the terms on that contract are no longer existing? Because she had her kids, and the cops yesterday morning, they came to the house. They didn't take them away because they said, well, you can't take the children away because her name's on the birth certificate. She's the mother. The other woman, she's only the grandmother. She has a power of attorney, but she's only the grandmother, and the father was nowhere around. I think he's out of town working or something.
Okay,
so
did he ever? Okay, calm down. Take a deep breath. Listen, did he ever establish a paternity?
I'm not sure if he. I don't think his name may be on a birth certificate. I'm not sure if a DNA test was done. I just know that.
You need to ask her, did he establish a paternity? Because that could be, the fact that he never established paternity, you could charge him with kidnapping. Hello?
Okay. All right. Okay.
And he could pay her civilly for that.
Okay. And I remember one of the calls you was talking about, how you can take them to small claims court for different things and 3 times this.
Oh, no. This is not no small claims court matter. No. You kidnapped me? Oh, no.
So,
This is a federal court case. Kidnapping is a federal offense, honey. FBI get involved when you take people across state lines.
Well, what I would like to know for right now is I want those children back, let's say she picks the kids up from school tomorrow. I just want to have it to where no one can touch her or take her to jail, because every time she gets them and tries to keep them, they threaten to try to take her to jail and all this stuff. And I know they can't do that, but...
Yes, they can do it. You cannot stop people from kidnapping you. That's the point.
Okay.
Now, do he live in the same state that she lives in?
He does. But he's been
Does his grandmother live in the same state that the children live in?
Yes, ma'am. She's the one that has the power of attorney, in which my sister-in-law...
Okay, stop saying that. I already got that. I know she has power of attorney. Okay. Listen, anytime you use the public highway to transport a person from one location to another against their will, that's kidnapping. When the police officer takes you from your vehicle and arrests you because he has to take you on the highway to the precinct or wherever they're going to arrest you and keep you locked up, that is kidnapping. Okay? kidnapping is a federal offense. And I believe it's Title 18-1201. You need to look it up. Now, if he has not established paternity, that's going to give you more strength. He's kidnapping kids that he don't really know that's his. So if he's kidnapped them and he's not the father, what if somebody else was the father? See what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Now you need 5 people that know that she's had those kids since birth. You need 5 affidavits to say that she's taking care of those children. He was never anywhere around, and he never established paternity. How old are the children?
They're only 6 and 4.
Okay, I think as far as the law is concerned, he had to establish paternity, not being married to her before the 6-year-old became 6. That's the law where I'm from. You need to research the law where you're at to make sure how long she had to establish paternity. You understand that? Because there's a statute of limitations on that.
If some odd scenario, or let's say he has established paternity somehow, which I'm hoping he hasn't, where would I go from there?
Okay, he could establish paternity, but that doesn't give him the right to take the children from her. You go from there. He kidnapped the kids from her. That's where you go.
But what about the contract she signed? That's my concern. The fact that she signed, she willingly signed, not knowing. She did sign under force. They forced her to. But my concern is that contract is in place that she signed her signature on.
Okay, and why do we have erasers on pencils?
Why do we have what?
Erasers on pencils.
Erasers?
Because we made a what? Mistake. Do an affidavit of mistake and said and put in there that it was done under threat, duress, and coercion.
Oh my gosh! Okay. I'm recording the call so that I can go back and listen to this over and over. I'm recording it. Okay. Wow. All right.
The call is already being recorded for you. You can download the archives.
Okay.
But I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just, giving you some things that you need to consider.
Okay.
A heads up.
That thank you so much. That definitely places me in the. I'm definitely heading in the right direction right now after this information. I had no clue about the kidnapping scenario. Wow.
Yeah.
I had no clue. Could you go back? Let's say if I was kidnapped when I'm 29 now. If I was 21, because I was kidnapped by the cops, really I was. Could I go back and get them for kidnapping me all the way back then, 10 years ago or 11 years?
Is there a statute of limitations on fraud?
I don't think there is a statute of limitation for fraud.
Okay, well, if they kidnapped you and defrauded you, I think you might have a case. I got to check that out. I don't know for sure. And I'm being facetious.
Well, I definitely have all the time in the world to check it out and to read about it.
That's right. I would check it out. It would be beneficial to you because the city, Trvth versus the city of Tampa, they have to pay you $1.8 million a day for every day that they detain you, false imprisonment and false arrest.
30 days. That's a lot of. All right.
Well, 30 times 1.8 is, come on now, it's 5.4. 3 times 18 is what? 54. Come on. We count better than that, right?
Yes, we do. Wow. Okay.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist. You need to know the law, what their law says. It's already been adjudicated.
The problem is that they go by codes and statutes. Statutes and codes aren't laws, are they?
No, because they say that they're what? Statutes and codes. The only statute you need to pay attention to is the statute at large, which is the lawful laws of the United States passed by Congress. That's the only word statute you need to pay attention to. Is the statutes at large.
So the only reason that people are just really getting into trouble is because they have people brainwashed into thinking that statutes and codes are the law when they really aren't. They're just kind of like this fictitious thing they've made up to make us believe that we're breaking the law when it really isn't the law. It's some made-up stuff.
That's right. And they get on TV and tell you, buckle up, it's the law. That's a lie. It's not a law.
So I've been studying the statutes and codes of Texas, thinking that I was studying the law. I'm in the wrong thing. I need the USC. Let me see, United States. What is the US? What you just said? Title 18.
Yes, the United States Code. It's the United
States
USC, but it's for them. It's not for you. It's their penalty and crimes. Their crimes and penalties have monetary amounts attached to them. So you need to know how much to charge them.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, you remember, it was some years ago they came out with this little movie. It was called Batteries Not Included.
Okay.
And it's about little robots and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? The Batteries Not Included. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is, when I go to court, I say, show me the law, and I think of batteries not included. Listen how easy that sounds, batteries not included. Statutes, codes, ordinance, and regulations need not apply. Show me the law.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. Okay, I have one more short question. My car was towed, and they're holding it as ransom. My car was towed. No, Christmas it was stolen. The night of Christmas it was stolen. They claimed they found it on the 30th. It was towed, and now I want my car back, and they want to charge me $344 to get it out, and I don't think that's fair because I'm the victim here.
Well, when they towed it, what was that? Did they take it over public highway to tow it?
Oh, yeah, they took it down highway. Yeah, they sure did.
Okay, well, did they kidnap the car?
They sure did kidnap the car.
Okay, well, that's called Grand Theft Auto, sweetie. That's $10,000 a day.
Wow. They kidnapped the car.
And that's called Grand Theft Auto.
Even though I reported it stolen, because I never asked them to do that. I would have gladly picked my own car up.
Right.
How can I get the man behind the glass give me my car?
It's charging with Grand Theft Auto. That's how you get him to give it to you. I just told you.
Okay, Grand Theft Auto. Okay. That's what it is.
If he towed that car on the street, that's Grand Theft Auto.
Did you have a contract with him, Darlene?
I never had a contract with them. I sure did.
There you go. It's Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, wow. All righty. So if I go there, I'm going to go there tomorrow and try to get my car. And if he doesn't want to give it to me, I'll call the cops out and I'll
threaten him. Threaten him with the Grand Theft Auto.
It's $10,000 a day. Pull up the law first. Don't just go there with the words. Pull up the law and see. Maybe he'd rather lose the $344 instead of being charged with Grand Theft Auto, because he has to show you the order where he had permission to tow your car and who gave it to him, who gave him the authority to hook your car up to his tow truck and tow it. Where did he get the authority from? You need to see that order and who signed it.
Okay. I got it. I have it. I'm going to be up all night researching. I'm so excited about this. Wow. This just completely shed some light on some things. I had no clue. This is something. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right. We're going to go to Southwest Ohio. Dave, what happened? You had your hand up there, and you were like next in line. But now you're fourth again. I don't know what happened. Southwest Ohio, go ahead. Oh.
That's the wonders of an iPhone, I guess.
Yes.
Well, I'm relatively new to this process, but I have a couple of questions that relate both to the previous caller and the caller before. I've absolutely had zero luck with any of these, refusing to own the name scenarios, where I know personally of someone who's actually in prison and has been in prison for quite some time for going into the courtroom and refusing to give his name and basically, trying to, represent himself as the agent, and without, the judge kept asking him his name and he would say, "I am me," and go through that whole process, and he is still in prison. And even if I work with, I've fought tickets and stuff from within their own rules, playing, none of this UCC stuff, none of the redemption stuff, but just playing with their own rules, and they'll just get up and bold-face lie, and they will get you anyway. So even if you're right and you present the laws, there's so much corruption now that they'll arrest you anyway. The guy was committed, and he's been in prison for almost a year now, and everything that he's doing, and it was basically laughed at by the judge. And I've had that similar experience being basically dismissed, regardless of how correct, or lawful my presentations are. So, can you maybe speak to that a little bit? And if there's something I'm doing wrong, do you have to go through the whole process of, affidavit of mistake on the birth certificate and the Social Security, everything, just completely remove yourself before you try any of these techniques? Or
I would, let me start here. Number one, is he getting any mail or anything in prison?
That I don't know. I don't know if he's getting mail or anything. I will tell you what I do know is I was looking this person up. I actually don't know him personally, but I was investigating the case because I read about it. And during my investigation, when I was on the website, the jail, looking up his jail history, his prison history, while I was on that website looking at his controlling officer, or I guess the officer responsible for him, I actually got a phone call from his controlling officer, and I guess they knew that, I was looking just by my IP address or something, but I don't know if he's getting mail. I don't know really, how after that happened. I was afraid to contact him.
Right. You don't know if he's being held incommunicado or as a political prisoner or what, right?
He is being held on charges of fraud. They actually committed him. That was the words. I don't know if there's a difference between saying someone's committed. They said that he was unfit for his own defense because he kept on saying that he's representing that person that is not him. So they actually had him committed, but where he was committed was actually a county prison.
Okay. So they're still associating him with the name, so he should be able to get mail or whatever.
Okay.
So, he could. There's a remedy for him. Somebody could go in with power of attorney or guardianship papers for him, do a UCC on him, and do a writ of habeas and get him released and charge him with kidnapping.
Because, really my main concern is I'm doing all this research, for my own, personal, like if I can help this guy, that'd be great. But I'm also just trying to learn the process. I'm not going through a foreclosure. I'm actually looking to buy my first house. I'm in a pretty good situation right now, but I'm doing a bunch of preemptive, which actually leads me to my second question that was related to the previous caller. I actually have a 4-year-old son, and I was wondering if there's a method for me to remove him because, at the time I didn't know any better. We did get the birth certificate and Social Security and sign those contracts, and I didn't know if there was a way, since he's a minor, if he can't do it himself, can we do the affidavit of mistake or somehow to remove him from that process?
You could put him on the UCC and claim his birth certificate.
So I would put him on my UCC if I did my UCC?
That's correct. You put his Social Security and the birth certificate number on your UCC.
Because I actually haven't gone through that process yet. I'm still learning. I've done a couple of AFVs, and everything I'm doing, I'm doing research because every turn I take, I'm finding people that are attempting to do this, and they're either making mistakes or the law is just laughing at them, and it's not working. So I'm, a little bit afraid. Like I know you said you have to have the balls to do it, but every time I get a ticket or a citation and I refuse to sign it, they puff up. They, threaten to kidnap me, threaten to take me downtown, whatever. So I have to sign that paper, or else I'm going downtown. And if I'm with my family trying to do, whatever.
Not if you have the law with you. Start carrying the law with you so they can read it. They don't know that they're committing acts of treason.
Well, I'll be completely honest. I don't think they care.
Yeah, they do. Treason in this country is life imprisonment. Are you serious? Treason is life imprisonment. Who wants to go to jail for life for a goddamn signature?
I mean, I just think every cop thinks that he is completely within his duty to pull me over for not having a front license plate on my car. And then when they serve me this paper, which I refuse to sign, which some have accepted, but most don't, then that's when they threaten me with the jail time. And I've even tried to just take it, sign it, whatever, and do it through the courts. I've sent,
educate
proof
them.
of claim.
Educate them. The only way they're going to back down, meet them for a cup of coffee and a donut and educate them. Let them know that their boss has them liable to lose their job, their pension, and their retirement. Anytime you breach your oath of office, and all police officers have to take an oath to support the Constitution, usurpation of the police power is treason. Treason, they automatically lose their job, their pension, and their retirement. Educate them. Show them the law, because they're not told the truth. When they're supposed to protect and serve, when you violate my rights, and I'm the one that got you in the position, because we have government to secure our rights, and you're violating what I put you in position or office to do, that is treason. Treason ain't nothing to turn your nose up at, because you could still take a rope to court and hang them.
That I understand that, but at the same time that
I would love to show up in court with a rope. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I've tried
25 people get you, and everybody got to be saying, "Hang that judge, treason." That judge would get out of Dodge.
That'd be fun.
I've just had so many experiences where they have no regard for the law that they're supposed to enforce. So,
they don't know the law. If you study Mark Stevens, as I suggested on many, many occasions, you're holding him accountable for something that he doesn't know, and you can't do that. If I want you to leave me alone, I'm going to try to befriend you and come to a peaceable solution. If we can't come to a peaceable solution, then we're going to agree to disagree. But you can educate them. They have magazines especially for police officers. Have them listen to Coast to Coast.
I've actually signed on a citation, I believe, because he was threatening me multiple times. I tried to explain, and I think he threatened me with arrest probably 15 times over the course of the conversation.
Did you record it? Did you video
it? Unfortunately, no. But I did. I signed it, and I put something to the effect of "I do not contract" or "without prejudice" or something underneath my signature. And he was just infuriated, ripped it up, and put me in the back of the car, and there we go. They don't play games. Around here, I'm lucky I didn't get my teeth knocked in. I'm in Cincinnati. The cops around here are so corrupt. They don't care. They would rather stomp your face in.
Oh, that's not true, honey. I know it's a city. I was talking to someone in Ohio today. There's a city in Toledo that no longer exists. You know why? It's because a police officer shot a motorcyclist. And you know what? The motorcyclist happened to get a very doggone good attorney that did a writ of quo warranto. And the writ of quo warranto served on a city, a county, and a state is a show cause. Show me the reason why you should not cease to be the state of Ohio, the city of Cincinnati, in the county or whatever. A writ of quo warrantor is a bad mamma jamma if you know how to use it. Carl Miller talks about it.
Now, is there like a list of real like patriot attorneys or someone that could help with these situations? Because I've been doing research on my own for a long time. Every time I go into court, I represent myself, and basically they just laugh at me because I'm not past the bar, or maybe I'm not presenting something correctly. There might be little hiccups here or there. I've presented a notice that was in the incorrect format. I didn't underline or boldface, just one little thing. So is there like a network of individuals that actually know the real law and know how to deal with that like a database that we might have access to?
There's no such thing as a patriot attorney. And number two, you cannot
lawyer. I forgot the difference between lawyer and attorney.
Right. You cannot represent yourself because you are yourself.
Representing the name that they are charging, I guess would be the correct term. But like I said, I've had little to no luck, and just to have be able to have someone else that would that I could just confer with would be tremendous help in my learning.
If you would email me, I'm gonna ask. There's someone in the Cleveland area I might can hook you up with, and Jack Smith is in Ohio, correct?
Yeah, he was the. I know the name.
Yeah, he does Monday night classes. So the majority of the people I know are in Columbus and Cleveland area.
Columbus isn't too far. That's that's definitely worth a drive to meet with somebody.
But you need a study buddy, and
yes.
I'm just saying, stop being the name. You don't own the name. Stop identifying yourself as the name, and you could send an anonymous flyer. I print up flyers, and I get permission to leave them in the library. I take them to the neighborhood city halls, and start putting them, taking them, mail them out to the police precinct.
Do I actually have to void all of those contracts, such as the birth certificate and Social Security, in order to rightfully claim that I am not associated with that name? Because isn't that how they tricked you into?
No, that's not how that's done. No, that is not how that is done. You claim it on the UCC, and you need to study that. I did a creditors in commerce, and I was going through the UCC step by step until I was rudely interrupted. Sometimes when you're on a call, there are people that want you to know that they know something, but it has nothing to do with what you're talking about. And this person used to constantly interrupt me, and we're not on the same page. Now, if we have a copy of the UCC and we're going through it step by step, why would you bring up something that's totally off subject unless you want somebody to know that you have something, know that you know something, but you're not going to share it? And I never completed that class, but we were going through it. You need to know what the UCC says. You need to know how it applies to contract law. Everything in court is contract and commerce. They can only regulate commerce. You do an affidavit of denial of operating in commerce. Only a person operating a commercial vehicle needs a license. That means that you're a bus driver, taxi driver, chauffeur, limousine driver, or tractor-trailer driver. Those are the only 4 individuals that need driver's license. They're driving for hire, for money. Note that they call the passenger side of your car passenger, which denotes a fare is being paid. They can only regulate commerce. You don't have passengers. You have guests.
Visitors. Right, guests.
You don't drive. You travel.
Travel. See, I've read all these things, but I just, if I go take my car with no tag registration, I mean, this week I got pulled over for not having a tag on the front of my car just because there's no mounting bracket. But if I did all of these steps and I didn't register the vehicle, I had no tags, just traveling in my automobile on public land.
Just do a DOT.
They will pull me over in a second and just impound everything and just all of that nonsense.
Do a DOT 150, they won't.
DOT 150.
Yep, look it up online.
Okay. That I will do. And now you said for the son, because I'm actually going through what's his name? The Debt Wizard. They're incorporation-friendly judgment lien and stuff like that. But if I was to, because I kind of like to be a little less confrontation because I know how I've been, I don't want to say mistreated by the legal system, but I know how they don't like to play, and they can basically say whatever they want and, do whatever you want, and you have to prove everything. But if I was to go through that process and create a corporation, could I then register vehicles through that and still operate in commerce per se and register the vehicle so as not to attract all that unwanted attention?
Look, you might, I don't know what it is about you that make people want to pay your attention, but you might be handsome, they might think you rich or whatever, they might like the car you drive. You can't stop people from paying attention. People have eyes to look. That's what they're going to do. And the ones that have guns, if they want to be nosy, they're going to walk up to you and interfere. They don't have a right to interfere with your private travel. I'm telling you, read the instructions on the DOT 150. It'll stop all that nonsense. And you can put as many vehicles up under there as you like, and they cannot touch you. And the car, the title, you don't have to have the title for it, registration plates, insurance, none of that. Now, you are accountable. If you have an accident, you better be able to make that person whole.
Right. I completely understand that, definitely. I know it's all about responsibility, and, that's why
that's right.
That's why the bad guys, per se, can't, they never can do this system because they're not accountable for their actions and whatnot. But
they
like
have
I said,
a bond, and you need to know how to attack that bond. They mess with you. The police officers have risk management, file a complaint. 3 complaints, they can't work because they're no longer going to be insurable.
So would the remedy then for I'm actually going through an appeal now for some nonsense that, like I said, I tried to represent myself and the cop basically got up there and completely lied. I did not do the straw man argument. I just tried to do it legitimately because there was no violation. But when the officer gets on the stand and just lied through his teeth, the judge basically, he didn't even listen to anything I had to say or any of my evidence. And so this is the kind of thing that I see on the street with these cocky, steroid-infused cops. I did, yes.
You
and
did?
He did bold-faced lie to me.
Okay. So
and I'm actually filed for appeal, but I don't, I'm kind of stuck now. I don't really know what to do now.
Okay. When he lied, did you ask him? Did he know what the penalty of perjury was?
I don't think I used those words.
Okay.
I believe I did call him out on the lie, but I did not bring up the perjury or anything. And the judge, like I said, wasn't really paying attention. He was playing solitaire on his computer or something. Okay.
Number 1, to perjure, you must ask the officer, did he take an oath to support the Constitution? You must ask him, do he understand that perjury of his oath of office is an act of treason? You must understand that, do you know treason in this country is still punishable by death, automatic termination of employment, and forfeiture of your retirement and pension? If you had asked him those questions, I don't think he would have stood his ground. Especially if he swore in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you learn from your mistakes. Now you got an appeal the appeal is going to look at were there any errors in the trial court. That's all it is.
Right.
That's all
I know it's probably not going to do anything at all, but I mean, there was the case of him not being able to identify the backup officer, so I couldn't subpoena him, and some other things like that. But I really, I didn't know what else to do, so that's what I did.
Okay. Number one, you should have filed a counterclaim that he usurpated his police power, and that's defined in Black's Law Dictionary. Again, if you study Carl Miller, you will learn these things. You know the correct questions to ask. Mark Stevens teaches you how to impeach a police officer. That's what I like about his traffic stuff. You can impeach a police officer real easy. You just need to know how.
Okay, but we're going to move on, okay, because we have a lot of people waiting in line.
Well, thank you very much, and I will definitely look up that information. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. All righty, Dave. Let me try to unmute you. Okay, there you go. Go ahead, Dave.
Hello, Angela. Hello, Trvth.
Hi.
Greetings.
Trvth, I want to make a comment first. I have a question and a situation that somebody has brought to me that I want to ask you about. But before I say anything, I want to tell you how you have provoked my thinking. And I know that is exactly what you are trying to do, and you are being wildly successful.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for coming out and helping. And the information that you're bringing out is absolutely fabulous. I don't get a chance to go back and listen to very many calls because of my time constraints. I guarantee you I am going back through this call, and I am going to be making a bunch of notes because you have triggered some very, very important things that I can take and help pass on to people on Monday nights. But I wanted to thank you very much for what you're doing. I appreciate it, and I know many other people do. But
you're welcome.
I have an elderly couple that contacted me very briefly. They have contracted to sell a piece of property, been taking payments on it for, I guess, a few years. And the individual that's wanting to purchase it has decided they want to pay off the balance, and literally right now, and get title to the property. This couple in their 70s, they come to find out they just weren't on top of things. They have 3 credit card judgments against them. One, I believe, from 05, another one from 07, 08, something like that, several years old. And they're pretty substantial. The amount that they're actually going to be able to get is, on the payoff of this property is about $12,000, but they're sitting on about $36,000, give or take, on judgments. Interestingly enough, the largest judgment was from a debt collection company in Cleveland that went belly up and filed bankruptcy in September. They are scared to death. They've asked me if I have got any ideas on how they can possibly deal with this. And I'm going to ask you because I'm really not coming up with any answers other than a possible negotiation. But what kind of ideas do you have for a direction to go?
Well, my question to you would be, if you and I have a contract and you loan me, let's say $12,000, and I'm making payments to you and you go bankrupt, can that contract be assigned to somebody else?
Well, normally no.
Oh, really?
That's what I was wondering. We're talking, does it become an asset that is sold off in the bankruptcy? But I understand exactly what you're saying as far as that contract goes.
Now, my favorite, very, very favorite is FDIC selling off IndyMac assets to One West Bank.
Mm-hmm.
If IndyMac went bankrupt, insolvent, or into receivership for FDIC, where's the delegation of authority for FDIC to change the provisions of the contract and sell off the assets? There is none. And anything dealing with real estate has to be in writing and signed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm saying about that, because I don't want y'all to get in trouble, because I know what I'm talking about. Y'all don't understand.
Does that mean that you've studied a little more than we have?
No. That means that if you and I have a contract,
mm-hmm.
and I borrow $12,000 from you, and I'm making monthly payments to you, and you file bankrupt, does the trustee of the bankruptcy get to sell that contract to somebody else?
No, of course not.
Case closed. I'm not going to repeat it again.
I want you to
let that savor. I
understand what you're saying there.
Okay. It's no different than IndyMac and FDIC. FDIC had no authority to sell off anybody's contract without getting their written permission.
Correct. Okay. So that I can, if I could knock that out, they'd be able to handle the rest of it. But boy, they're at a wit's end with that.
There's no contracts on the credit cards, so I would challenge them, and I would make them. They have 10 days. Once you challenge them, they have 10 days to take that off their TRW. Either they provide me with a signed contract in 10 days, or I will put a lien on them. The next thing I would do is nobody has a right to interfere into my business. That's a violation of my privacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's identity theft. It's a number of things. But number one, it's my business, and I can fire you because you're violating Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 of the Constitution, which is impairing my obligation to contract. All corporations take an oath to support the Constitution. If you're impairing my obligation to contract, you're committing an act of treason.
Well, I am going to email you. I would like to talk to you a little more when you have some time. I would appreciate having conversation when you have time to do so.
Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know. They commit treason on a daily basis. You start calling them out on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, this particular case is one, unfortunately, these poor people can't even sleep at night, and I'm trying to help them find some remedy. They don't have a clue about this stuff that's going on, and I get a lot of that. But I want to try and do everything I can to help them out and steer them, so I will definitely contact you.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you so much, again, for everything you're doing. And Angela, thank you. Wonderful call tonight. This is one for me to go back and take a lot of notes. And on that, I will get out of the way.
Well, I appreciate it. Everybody, Dave's call is on Monday nights at 6 Pacific time. And we're all like-minded on these calls, I guess. So Dave's a good one to catch on Mondays.
And I'm trying to stimulate your thinking as he brought out. I am not trying to embarrass you or make you think that I know more than you know. You know what I know. It's just that you're not thinking about what you know. But you do know. You know, most people say, well, I can't speak a foreign language, but that's not true. You might not know it fluently, but we all know a foreign language. We know C means yes in Spanish. We know AD means the AD behind the year. A lot of us know what that means. I just forgot how to pronounce it. We know what PM means. You know a lot of stuff that you don't think that you know, but you do know it.
Well, you definitely provoke the thought, so you are being wildly successful, at least with me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, next we have Guest 135. Go ahead. You have a question? Guest 135. Guest 135. Do you have maybe a mute button on your phone you need to undo? Guest 135. I know you tried to say something there, but you're unmuted on our end. Well, I tell you what, I'll leave you unmuted when you figure it out. Just give me a shout out here. Otherwise, we're going to move on. We're going to go to Zizix. Go ahead, Zizix. What's your question?
Hey, how are you doing? Angela, you're doing a great job. And Truth, you're sounding so beautiful and patient with everybody, and it's really a great attribute.
Thank you.
What I want to do is I wanted to share a little bit of what was the credit card thing is a big thing for a lot of people. Housing is a big thing for people who think they have houses or own houses. And there's a whole lot of people who don't own houses, so it doesn't apply to them, but I guess they're concerned in some capacity. But the credit card thing, I think, is a really big thing with most people because basically you can't get anywhere in this world without credit. But one of the things I've been researching myself and trying to really dig into is what's really happening with that. And this one gentleman who spoke a little earlier was concerned about dealing with it in court and all. But I became aware of this from another source that when you look at the legal definitions of what an application is like when you apply for a credit card or apply for any kind of credit, in actuality, that application is actually it's a promissory note of sorts. It's an instrument for that fact. And that's a non-disclosure that they do to you on that. They don't tell you what it really is and what they do with it, but they do securitize that. And this curious thing, what I had done is I just wanted to dig into this deeper. So I went down to, Sears, one of the biggest department stores in the nation, and I picked up one of their applications just to go over the contract to see what it is, because it is a contract. If you don't think it's a contract, whether or not someone else signs it, well, you have to read it because it is a contract, and you're signing with agreement within that. But ironically, of course, because it's not full disclosure and doesn't carry on all the aspects of what a contract is, it's probably an illegal contract. But it's what it says and what you sign to that turns it into an instrument. Your signature is probably not worth diddly if you scrawl it on the sidewalk, but if you put it on this piece of paper, it has value, and they know that. So what led to this discovery, or this insight essentially, is that when you go into Sears, I bet you go anywhere in the country, and these places are virtually empty, but they got a whole lot of stuff on the shelves. And which leads to the question, how can they afford to keep these places open? They're like fortresses. They're so bloody huge. And there's only a few people, and they're all usually low-paid individuals who work there. So the question comes about, how do they do that? Well, what I have come to understand, or at least hypothesize about, is because they're instruments, because they securitize them, they get CUSIP numbers with each application. So that CUSIP number turns it into having it value in itself. The question is, whose application is it? Is it theirs or is it yours, the one applying for it? Well, actually, it should be yours. And under a process under common law, which is called Trvth, or it's actually a term that's used to describe a function about how they respond. It's Trver. You can look this up in Black's Law Dictionary. And basically it says that the person who takes this contract in whatever form it is, takes it and changes it without your consent, and because it is yours, and they don't tell you that it is yours, and of course you don't know that it's yours because people just don't do their homework about this contract stuff, is that they know you're not going to come back for or pick up your application back again, so they absorb it. They literally take it and they say, so without giving it full disclosure, they just say, well, they're not going to come back for the money, so we're just going to keep it, because they do make money off of these things if they are instruments. So the point is, as far as the other gentleman saw, and what somebody else had mentioned to me, is one person unknowingly knew a little bit of knowledge and decided he was just going to ask a simple question of the bank where he had a credit card with exceptional debt on it. And he goes into the bank and asks the controlling officer, whoever it is, if he could, that he wanted to get the CUSIP number on the application. And the guy who he was speaking to, evidently, this is just hearsay now. I'm not saying I actually know this, but this is what the story is told as. It was like he had like $50,000 in debt on this credit card. And they said, well, I can't get that to you right now. I'll have to get back to you on it. And it was about a week later, some period of time, not too long after that, he gets a letter back from the institution that says, your debt has been satisfied. And that was the end of the story. So it leads us all to believe there's something going on with this credit card scam, which it really is, because they really don't loan you anything. And your signature on that document is what makes anything have any value. And so in lieu of that, as far as process goes, to protect ourselves and to try to recoup what we think are misunderstandings about our contract or our credit card, is I think it's worth taking a chance, because you've got everything to win and nothing to lose, by simply going to the institution where you had your credit card take place, wherever you filled out the application, and ask them for the CUSIP number. And demand it. You don't ask them, because it's yours, remember? That's my viewpoint anyway. And see what happens, because I'm working on it right now. Here's an interesting note, too, I want to add in there. Looking through the credit card application for Sears in particular, I was trying to figure out where it says they can do anything they want with it, and it's very, very interestingly hidden in the thing. It comes under a category which they call reasons we can share your personal information. And then it has two columns to the left of that, which one says, does Citibank share that? And can you limit this sharing? So it gives you an yes or no answer as to the reasons why they can. And it comes down to the third one, which says, for joint and other financial company marketing. What the hell does that mean? For joint marketing with other financial companies. Who knows what that means? Nobody knows, but it says, yes, they do that. And I think that's where it says they have the right to do what they... But it doesn't tell you explicitly, of course, that they're going to go out there and sell that thing and market it. Does that make sense to anyone?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah. So the point of it is that I don't think anybody's ever read one of these damn things. They're so bloody long, they're pathetic, and most of them are telling you, all these. I've got one from Macy's too, and it virtually says the same thing. It tells you what they're going to do for you and what you're committed to do for them, but it doesn't tell you what they are going to do with you, so to say.
Well, thank you very much for that. That's
so I just think it's worth investigating on each person's individual level.
An application for approval of a credit card is not a contract. And you can say what you want to say.
I'm not saying it's a contract either. I'm just saying it's an instrument.
Okay.
And they securitize it.
That's true. Most people don't realize, even though the applications that are declined, they are bundled together, and they're mortgaged, and they're securitized. They mortgage everything. They mortgage your insurance applications, credit card applications, car loan applications. They mortgage your house application. They mortgage everything. That's how this country is ran. They mortgage stuff. They turn it into a security. They turn the security into a bond, and they sell it on the market. That's how this country operates. However, you're not taking into account the 45-day rule. If you get a notice that your application was declined, why don't you go back and get the application? 45 days, they get to claim it as abandoned funds. That's why they mortgage it. Because
right, that's a very good point there. Yeah. But see, they don't even say anything about a 45-minute or 45-day ruling on here.
Because
they don't say,
the law is no excuse on their part or your part.
But it should be written in here so it's not full disclosure.
But what law says that they have to disclose on the application? They're not loaning you anything. So what law says that they have to disclose to you? You got that from Tiller. But that's truth in lending. They have to be lending you something. It's against the law to loan credit. That's in the National Bank Act. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, yeah. But it's curious, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, you do have to go back in and ask for that application back.
And because you don't know to do that and you don't do that, whose fault is that?
All right. Absolutely. But that doesn't discount the fact that they've already securitized it even within the 45 days, and they're making money off it, and that's your money.
Exactly. But then anything you sign, they can tap into your account and get up to $2 million without your knowledge or consent. I should say additional knowledge and consent because you've already signed, and once you sign, they can tap into your account for $2 million per signature if you're approved or not approved.
Then how do they do this on the computer in the stores in particular without having any actual signature on anything? Not especially they don't sign anything.
An application can be there's a law where if you say yes to a specific question, it's an agreement. And they could take that yes even on a telephone. I have to look it up because it's been such a long time since I even read that particular law. But on the phone, if you say yes, they're taking that yes as a signature. And
yeah, and they usually do record those too. When they even tell you we're going to record this for whatever reason, you know.
Right, but
quality assurance purposes.
Right, it's 4 or 5 years ago when I learned that. There's a way they could do it on the phone. All you have to do is answer yes, and it's you know you're authorizing them to use your signature and tap into your account. Now, most people aren't aware when you get a tax bill or any type of presentment, they're asking you your permission for them to assess you that amount. But they don't formulate the question in that manner, so you don't know. But when they send you out a tax bill, they say, oh, this is not a bill. But what they're saying, well, can we assess your property this amount of money? Because I just told you at the beginning of the program, they have no authority for taxation. And if there's no authority for taxation, how can they tax you? But then you must understand, if you're using their services, they're taxing you to pay their salaries. And I learned this from Winston years ago.
Because if you're accepting the benefit privilege, then
right.
You have to pay tax.
Exactly. If you're using their services and your deed is recorded in the county, they're taxing you so they can get their salary.
Right.
Because they're the document custodian of your deed of trust. So
you do have to file the UCC-1 so you can get out of that, for one. Take back control of your estate.
You have to unrecord that deed. All deeds
right.
don't have to be recorded. I mean, you could have a deed and it not be recorded. So there's certain things we don't know at all. There's things that we can do, and the reason why I know that because I took a class in real estate, and I used to, I passed the test. I was a licensed realtor. I didn't do it to sell real estate. I did it for the information. And I personally am like this. If I'm not working, I'm going to go to school and take up something, anything. And you would be surprised what it is that I know how to do. because I was sharing with Angela that somebody, I guess they call themselves telling me off in an email, say, I bet you can't wire a house or pull a motor out of a car. And I'm from Michigan. I worked at Chrysler. I think I do know how to get a hoist, unscrew an engine, and pull it out. I think I do know how to do that. And I worked at Chrysler 3.5 years. And in 75, when I was bored and didn't have nothing to do, you'd be surprised. I took up electrical engineering and went to the pipe fitters union and passed the test. I ain't had nothing better to do. So when I personally am bored, I take up something. I don't care what it is, but I'm educating myself. I know how to run a lathe. I know how to run a CNC. I can run a grinder, a mill. I took up engineering. I took up medical assistant. I took up
Jacqueline of all trades.
My friend wrote a book about me. She called me Jill because she never saw a woman. When she came out of her house, I was up under my car changing the starter on a 73 Cadillac back in 1975. She said, I've never seen a woman work on her own car. She said, I can't even change my tire. I said, girl, it is no way I'd have a flat and can't pull these 5 lugs off, jack this sucker up, and pull that tire off. To me, that's unthinkable. But there are women out there that's like that. I'm just telling you about me. When I don't know how to do something, I'm going to investigate, research, and validate it and figure out how to do it. I was a single parent. Trust me, I had to do my own plumbing. I did my own painting and my own electrical.
You're amazing.
I had to learn how to do that,
Yeah.
I was independent. I'm sorry.
That's the epitome of independent.
I mean, I wasn't gonna have somebody come in my house and tell me, well, I'm gonna charge you this, and I'm gonna tell you what taught me the lesson. And this is really, I bought my house in 1979, and like I told you, it was torn down by the city in 2000. When I bought the house, it was distressed property, and I had some cracked pipes, so I had to have a plumber come out to discover where the cracks were, and then replace the pipes. And he tore my walls up and put big holes in my walls. And he fixed the pipes where I didn't have no leaks. But guess what he didn't do? He didn't plaster those walls back. He said, I don't plaster, I'm a plumber. That taught me a very valuable lesson right then and there. Because I was looking for him to fix my walls back. And I was in a house with holy walls for about 6 months so I can get the money to get somebody to come in and plaster my walls. Even though I didn't have any leaks now. But I had those humongous holes where he was tearing up stuff. Now, he could tear it up, but he couldn't replace it because he was a plumber. That's the story of my life, gang.
Okay, let's move on here. We've got guest 135. Are you unmuted now? Guest 135, did you want to ask Truth a question? Guest 135, I guess not. Okay, put your hand up again if you desire to ask a question. We'll move on to New York. Go ahead, New York. We can't hear you. New York. I've got 2 New Yorks. The one I unmuted. Check and see if you have a mute button on your phone or something, maybe.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Hi. Okay, we can now, yeah.
Oh, actually, I got on late, so I don't want to tie things up. I want to get on Dave Mack's call and get the information I need about this young lady here that you have a host, and I'll get it from Dave Mack on his Monday's call. So I don't want to tie everything up because I got on late. But thank you anyway.
The host is Angela. That's not a problem.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can check. Truth's got a web page on our site, myprivateaudio.com.
Okay. I have it. Thank you.
Okay, great. All righty, and we're going to move on to Sir Ryan. But there you go. Hi, Sir Ryan. Hello, Sir Ryan.
Hi, Sir Ryan.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Okay. Hi. You have a question for Truth?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I appreciate how you sharing all this knowledge with us. As far as these maritime, admiralty laws, commercial laws, how to handle yourself in everyday life. But I guess the question I wanted to get back on was like when you told that lady earlier about getting your car back when you get impounded. Because I had a situation where the police officer pulled me over, and he took me to jail. He said I looked like I was drunk. There was no alcohol in the car. He said he smelled a little alcohol. He took me to jail. They impounded my car, and it cost me more money to get my car than it cost me to get out of jail. And when I went up there, they made me show my registration for my vehicle to get it out the town. So I guess what I want to ask is, would I handle that the same way as far as, show me the order that gives you the right to take my vehicle and who signed it?
That's correct, because that's where your recourse is against. The tow truck company had to have an order to pick up that particular vehicle, make, model, and description. And I believe if you would go to privateaudio.com or contact Angela and get a copy of the commercial process, that information is in there, and it's a zip folder. So that information is freely made available to everyone. It's not posted because it is a zip folder. It contains audios and documents. So you have to contact Angela personally in order to get a copy, but it would behoove you to study it. And they have a specific section on what I'm telling you. Now, remember, everything I know and everything I'm sharing with you, I'm trying to let you know my source, where I got it from. So don't say Truth said. Truth has got the information from somewhere else, and I'm trying to point you in the right direction and let you go to it and you listen and you get the information for yourself.
And you need to Skype me or add me to your Skype contacts because it's huge, and I will Skype it to you.
What's your Skype name, Angela?
She doesn't give that out.
Email me.
Yeah,
okay.
She doesn't give that out over the air.
If you go to the page for Truth, if you go to myprivateaudio.com and click on guest speakers up at the top on one of the links, it says guest speakers pages. You click on that and you click on Truth where it says her name and call notes. It'll bring up a page with a whole bunch of her stuff on there. And at the top, there's a link for you to click on to email me to get that information. I don't want to put it on the audio. Have it.
Okay, I understand.
I can't answer all the emails. I just can't do it. It's impossibility. So I hope you folks that have sent me an email and haven't heard back from me, send me another one, but I'm trying to do it as best I can.
As we all are, because when you inundate us, everybody has a problem, everybody has a situation. But truly the answer is within yourself. We are just not thinking. And if I could get you to think, or if I could point you in the right direction, that's what the theme of this call was tonight. Let me help point you in the right direction. I'm not trying to do something for you. I'm trying to do something with you so you can do it yourself. My thing is to empower you, not to become your enabler.
Yeah, I do a lot of searching. I found some stuff on the internet today that talks about there's 2 different types of citizens and 3 different classes of citizens, 2 different types of jurisdictions. I hadn't read it yet, but I'm gonna do some studying on that probably tomorrow. But when you were speaking a few minutes ago, you was talking about how they monetize the credit card application or car application and what we should be doing. I mean, if we was to ask for that document back, I mean, what could we do with it? It's nothing. It's just a piece of paper to us. I mean,
but see, this is how they sell your name for advertising reasons. You want to know how people get your email and stuff like that. This is how they sell your name. They sell your information to other companies. They're making money off of you 12 ways, that you don't even know about. Not only are they securitizing that signature, they're selling your information. They're invading your privacy, period.
Yeah.
All right, is that good enough for you?
I got one more.
Okay.
Like, as far as, like, tax withholding, because I get a lot of money taken out of my check, and it's insurance go up, or it's just something that go up, and I just don't understand. I mean, what way would you try to go about them, taking money out your check, being exempt? Would you
refile your W-4? On your W-4, at the very bottom, it asks, "Are you tax exempt?" You've never filled it out. Why don't you sign your name there? I'm tax exempt.
Oh, I mean, okay. And they won't take anything. I don't have to fill out any 1040 NRs or WADN or anything.
And you're going into an area that you're not ready for. You want them to stop taking money out your check. We're talking about your employer. Then you need to refill out the W-4 that allowed him to take the money out in the first place. He couldn't take it out without your permission. If you sign the W-4 and put down that you're tax exempt, they cannot take taxes out of your check.
They won't take nothing out, fed, state.
They can't take taxes out
at all.
I mean, the jobs that I worked, I got all my checks because I already knew how to fill out. One of the things I took up when I was unemployed was business administration, and in the accounting class, my teacher happened to ask. She said, "Who would like to make $70 an hour?" Well, naturally, we all raised our hands. And he said the best way to do it is become an income tax practitioner. And that's how I became familiar with the IRS forms. But me personally, I'm not in commerce like that. I never allowed them to take taxes from any job I've ever had. Everybody used to always ask me, "How do you do that?" And I've always done it. It's no big deal to me. It's on the W-4. Go back and read it. The very bottom line say, "Are you tax exempt?" You so busy giving them all your information with your little happy self. You know what I'm saying? We're off to see the wizard, or we're going down the rabbit hole. Come on now. Learn how to read some of these documents before you sign them. And learn how to put, I'm not applicable. Give them the law. Title 31, Section 3124. Obligations of the United States is not taxable.
Okay. I thought I was going to have to. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
The fact is that they're not paying you income. You're trading resources. You're giving them your source, and they're giving you a resource. And the resource is in the form of wages. That's not income. That's compensation. You're giving them your time, they're giving you a wage. That's compensation. That is not income.
Is that called a gift in estate tax? Or
No.
Is that something different? Okay.
Yeah, that's something totally different. If they can only charge income, and income will have to be a dividend or interest. If you agree to paint my house for $300 and I give you $300, that's equal, exchange. Where's the income? If you agree to paint my house for $300 and I didn't pay you $300, then I have income. I have a capital gain. Is that making sense to you?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
But if it's not income unless it's a capital gain or interest or a dividend.
Okay, it's just wages. I work for every penny.
It's compensation. It's compensation. Yeah. Wages are compensation. They agree to compensate you $10 an hour, $12 an hour, $35 an hour for your time. That's a compensation. That is not an income. If I value my time at $1,800 an hour, that is not an income. That's what I value my time at. And you can't tell me what to charge for my time.
Income means profit.
Right. A capital gain or a dividend.
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we're so glad it's not about what you think. It's about what we can prove. And you need to read Title 26 and Title 27 and 6209 and get the understanding. There is no legal definition for the word income. And I've already said that you can't tax Federal Reserve notes because they're tax exempt. What are they assessing your taxes on?
No, the reason I say that is because, like, when I'm looking on and doing, like, little studies, I see, IRS taking people to court for not paying taxes. I mean, I'm thinking they're going to summons me or something. They're going to send me a notice.
But who's representing the IRS in court? Is it one of your employees? I'm just asking a question. Who represents the IRS in court? Is it one of your employees?
No.
Huh?
No.
Yes, it is.
It is.
You pay the DOJ salary, sweetie. Didn't you know that? All taxpayers pay the U.S. attorney. How dare the U.S. attorney take you to court for the IRS, who is not a part of the United States? Why do you allow that to happen? You pay their salary, and they're going to take you to court for a foreigner? It ain't that kind of party. Think about what you should do. Fire that employee.
Okay, can we move on now?
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Sorry, everyone.
Okay, thanks, Sir Ryan. Right. Okay, we have Jeff Coram, New York, and Arminius. Jeff Coram, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Jeff.
Greetings.
Question for Trvth. What kind of experience do you have and what kind of opinion do you have of using these 1099s to go back in and claim these funds, particularly on what you were talking about, the applications and whatnot?
I don't have any experience with the 1099.
Okay.
I have another way. I have an out of court settlement letter that I just tell you what I want. You can give it to me or not. It doesn't make me any difference. But when I do go to court, I've created a record, something for the judge to have jurisdiction over. The fact that you didn't comply with my out of court settlement, which I tried to do as friendly as I knew how to do with my lack of experience, because I'm not an attorney. So I just tried to, a private out-of-court settlement with you, and you refused, Now I'm going to take you to court and sue you for constitutional violations for depriving me of my due process.
Okay, very good. I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is that it, Jeff?
That's it.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Angela, I'd like to add, most people do not realize there are two constitutions, and if a corporation violates the Constitution, especially like the government, it's a $750,000 fine. Don't forget, there's a state and federal constitution, and fraud pays triple damages. So if it's a government corporation violating the Constitution, which is the Fifth Amendment, your due process, that is $225,000. That's $2,250,000 per Constitution. So it makes it $5 million easy. Got it?
Yeah. There's a question here from Dave. He wants to know, how do we unrecord a deed of trust?
Quit claiming it to somebody else.
There you go. Okay, we've got a question from New York. Let me see if I can. There we go. Go ahead, New York.
Hello. I just wanted to mention that people, when they're committed, a lot of times they don't allow them to receive mail. They block their mail.
Okay, is that a denial of due process?
Pardon me?
That's a constitutional violation. I'm just letting you know.
Right. I don't doubt that at all.
You just have to throw that into their faces.
I just wanted to bring it up, that's all. I appreciate all that you do. Almighty bless, keep, and protect on all ears. Thank you. Whatever I can pay attention to help.
Now, remember, what's a show called for a corporation? It's the writ of quo warranto. It's QUOWARRANTO. A writ of quo warranto is a show cause why they shouldn't cease to exist. And if somebody did a writ of quo warranto against that institution, I think things will begin to change because they're facing dissolution.
Cool. All right. We're going to move on to Arminius. Hi, Arminius.
Hello.
Greetings.
Hi.
Greetings. Angela, thank you very much. This is an awesome show. In truth, you're a veritable fountain. I got to say that I've really kind of sat back and enjoyed this shoe tonight.
That's right.
Thank you. As I've always enjoyed these shoes, but I'm going to say that I've seen this in a movie somewhere before, a movie that I believe might have been called The Matrix. Have you been in that Matrix, perhaps, Miss Truth?
Have I been in the Matrix?
May I ask that, if I may?
Okay, I don't know which Matrix you're referring to, but I came from the Matrix.
The Matrix.
As did you. I don't know if you know that the birth canal is referred to as a matrix. Did you know that?
No, I hadn't ever thought of it that way before, but you're absolutely correct.
Yep, look up the definition of the word matrix. When you come forth from the womb, you're coming through the matrix. It's funny how they use words that you should know to describe something else. And that's the word games they play. If the words were not similar, they could not fool you.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah, they could. That's the whole thing. Semantics.
There you go.
Okay, did you have any more questions?
No, go on. I'd love to talk, but I really don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you all for a wonderful call, and that I'm trying to get it all in as much as I can, and we'll continue to do such as.
Well,
Don't
thank you. I appreciate it.
Don't forget to download the archives and re-listen, okay?
I will do what I can. Trust me. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, Player Mini. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Player
Hi.
Mini again. Hi.
Greetings.
How you doing? Greetings. I just have one quick question, Ms. True. I was just wondering if you give class.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
I was wondering if you give classes. You know how you were talking about revealing forms or giving out information, but how people sometimes use them and get in trouble, just enough to get themselves in trouble. So I was wondering if you held classes.
We are in the process of planning a webinar.
Okay.
And it's going to be on a specific subject. I was thinking about doing what I really don't like to do, and that's our good old friend Iris.
Yeah, somebody trying. Mm-hmm.
So I was going to. I'm putting together a package because it's going to be like about a 4-hour webinar of pure teaching. You're going to have the package, and I might do a Q&A after. But right now, I'm trying to assimilate all the information I have from times past to the present on our girlfriend, Iris, and we will. But if you have a suggestion for a subject matter that you would like for me to go through in depth, please let Angela or myself know.
Okay. I really do.
I only do one subject at a time.
Okay.
So, if I decide to do the webinar, you're gonna get the material. You're not gonna get to see me. You'll get to hear me, but you will not get to see me because I need you to get the information.
Right. Okay.
All right. So we are in the process of planning to get that done, and this is for everybody on the call. If you have a suggestion for a particular subject matter, please make it known, and whichever subject matter gets the most hits, that's the one we'll start with. How about that?
That's great. That's wonderful. So should we communicate with Angela about our request? Or email you directly, or how?
Either or. Just put webinar topic.
Okay.
And
in the subject line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe and also put in there truth somewhere, so I'll know who it pertains to.
Okay. All right.
That'd be great. Anybody come up with a good topic, email me or truth.
Well, this is going to be one that's hounding everybody. So, homeowner or not, but I will send it. But I just want to thank you again so much, both of you, for having this show and being available for us and answering our questions. And we all really appreciate it.
Thank you, Truth. I appreciate it too. Thank you so much for spending
and
the time.
What's your name again? Who are you? What's your name?
I'm Janetta, and I'm in your city.
No, I was being funny. I was talking to the other lady.
Okay.
No, I was talking to the other lady. I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm just being funny. What's your name? I can't think of your name. What's your name again?
But you know what? That keeps you on your toes.
What's her name?
It keeps you on your toes. It really does.
I can't think of this child's name. What's her name?
Angela. It starts with an A. No.
You should hear my phone pronounce your name, because when I go to the directory to make a call, it tells me the person, and you should hear the way my phone pronounces your name. It does not say Angela. It's so funny.
Angela?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jello.
Oh.
That's funny. Okay, well, that was fun. I tell you, that was a quick 3 hours. It went by really fast.
Wow.
Does anyone else have a question? Otherwise, we should close it out. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to make, Truth, before we close?
No, because I'm pretty sure I got to go to my email and start answering emails. I'm pretty sure.
You're really. Me too. All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been another great call. Truth is always a great inspiration to have on these things. She's always got the right answers, even if it's just a redirect and where we need to go look to find the information. That's one thing that Dave got right, is she makes you think. Thanks so much, Truth, for coming on and making us think.
You're welcome, and thank you for asking for me, because I'm only going to come if I'm requested. I don't like to impose on people.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, you're one of our favorites, so that shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, we'll have you on again real soon.
Oh,
and I'll
definitely.
be talking to you. Definitely. We're going to close it out. If you guys want to stay on in the chat, I'll leave it open. But I'm going to close it. We're 2 hours, 56 minutes into it. And I thank you all for coming. I love you. I love you, Truth, and everyone that came on the call, my family. I love you all. And Happy New Year again. And we'll see you on, Sunday. I think, wait a minute, Gene Keating, no. John Stewart is having a special call on Saturday for those people that are in judicial states that are facing mortgage and foreclosures. So I just thought I'd mention that. You got to go to his website to find out. It's showmetheloan.net. And then on Sunday he's got another call where he does a mock court. And then on Monday we have Dave Mack with his Dallas debt discussion, and I think he's going to bring up a lot of what Truth spoke about tonight. And on from there. I'll see you guys later. I love you.
Love you. Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.